very brief and great introduction of myself. Okay, my name is Feroz Hayat. I'm the director of Planescape Consultants, and also I'm a founder of a new tech startup, which is called MyPAMS, or My Performance Assurance Management System, going to be launched in January 2022. Just a bit intro about myself in case a lot of you are wondering. Maybe I'll just share a bit about my background, how it all started. So my bachelor degree, I was born in Kuching, and in case you all are wondering, pandai ka Sarawak si pandai ka Sarawak, nang orang Sarawak, ka Sarawak nang pasabis. In case tong terfikir-fikir lah, tong Sarawak ka, nang orang Sarawak, orang Kuching. Okay, so I studied in UTM Skudai. That was my first bachelor. My bachelor was in electrical electronics engineering. So I took daripada Faculty of Engineering dekat UTM Skudai, and then 4 years there. Before that, I was in matriculation, and 4 years in engineering dekat UTM Skudai, and then after that, I got employed with Sarawak Energy. So I was with Sarawak Energy for a good 11 years. I was there. Jadi I mula macam-macam lah. I was first in the retail department. I was dalam bahagian enforcement for 4 years, and then I went to become a division head. So I handled 60 employees and 7 offices: Kuching, Bau, Lunduk, Semarahan, Semunjan, Serian, Siburan. And those dealing with new customers, dealing with a bit of technical, but mostly on customer service, mostly on management and leadership. And then I got promoted after 6 years. I got promoted to a senior engineer. So I pindah ke Bintulu. So I was heading the Bintulu office for under retail department, under non-technical losses minimization and some other customer service works. And also for a year, and I was transferred to Miri for another 3 years. And after that, so my biggest break, or which kind of changed everything, was when I transferred back to Menara SCB to report directly to the CEO of SESCO, of the subsidiary. So that one later on, I cerita about that story lah. So jadi entrepreneurship. So I'm being told by everyone here that I'm being told that everyone here is a campur-campur of faculties, right? You have those from engineering faculties, you have the business faculties. So it's a mixture of all. Jadi, just to let you know that you may think that I entrepreneurship, I bukan faculty of economics and business. And by the way, I was an alumni of Unimas. I took my CMBA in Unimas back then. So I was an alumni of Unimas as well. And okay, back to my question. You may think that why is this relevant for me? Entrepreneurship. I am not from FEB. I bukan mola business, you know. I'm an engineering background, or I'm biotech or mechanical engineering, macam-macam. But do remember that I was an engineer. So my background was engineering, and I opened up a management consulting firm, not an electrical engineering consulting firm, tapi a management consulting firm. So to be honest with you, your degree, just to share with you, your degree is like a license. This is the reality. It's like a license, say a driving license. It allows you to drive, but you can choose which cars you want to drive. Okay, as long as within the stipulated license lah. If license kereta, janganlah ngambil lori nak. But within the stipulated license. So which means your first degree, okay, you get this from me, your first degree, all of your undergraduates, your first degree does not determine your future. It does not determine your future. You may be an engineer when you graduate, but end up you become someone else. Okay, I hated business back then. I was electronics, right? So I loved engineering. I loved electronics, programming, chip programming. We learned if there's some faculty engineering here, you might resonate with this. Learned about VHDL, Verilog, and then assembly language. So all this electronics engineering punya jargons lah. So I learned all that. Jadi I loved semua yang to me it's best. It's so interesting. And I hated business, to be honest with you. Dulu ada subject namanya engineering economics. I hated that subject. I was like, apa tu? You know. And to my surprise, I am the complete opposite now. I would say I hated engineering, but I'm not interested in technical anymore, but I'm more interested in the business side of things. Especially when I took the CMBA from Unimas. That is an amazing program. It opened up my eyes. So I learned new things about marketing, about entrepreneurship. strategic business, and then strategic management, so and international business. So it's really an eye opener. So later on, I'll tell the story along the way. Will I present? I'll share some stories about what happened along the way. Okay, so you may think that entrepreneurship is it for me, right? Of course, you must understand it may not be for you, but it may also be for you. It may not be now, it may be later, or it may be now, but you may change your mind and not to become entrepreneur. So why is that? Okay, I must begin with expectations. You know, you go to online Facebook sponsored ads, you'll see a lot of people are saying that you too can become a millionaire, you too can have this, have that, you know. So let me tell you the expectations of an entrepreneur. Wealth, travel, fame. This is what you would see in the internet. This is what they promise you. You can get all this as an entrepreneur. Okay, I believe all of you memang selalu tengok this one and you'll be like, you know what, this is interesting. I'm so interested in this. I want to have this. But yeah, this is the expectation. Okay, why I say expectation? Sebab the reality, as you see this lady with her laptop, you kind of know how the truth is in becoming an entrepreneur. It is not as it is not all rainbows and sunshine. No, it is not. The reality is this is the reality, okay? It's a lot of stress. Okay, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you the reality. It's a lot of stress. And it is lonely sometimes because people might not share the same idea as yours. You have a vision. When you're an entrepreneur, you have a different type of thinking. You have this vision that I'm going to do this. I'm going to build this. This thing might be, it may work. It may be something amazing. So you are a different way of thinking, a different way of seeing things where people might not resonate with you. So it's a lonely road. You know, the road to become an entrepreneur is quite lonely because you may not find people who agrees with you. Okay, and parents, typical parents, they'll be afraid when young people embark on entrepreneurial journey. They will be very afraid. But because you must understand, parents, their times are different. You know, they don't have the digital age like us now. The digital age, it opens up new doors of opportunities for business. Anyone can do business anytime right now. The world it's like an oyster. You know, it's always an oyster. You can travel anywhere doing your business. You can get your products to travel everywhere because of the internet. So it's different now, and parents might not be supportive of this idea, but it is changing, slowly changing as when they see more and more opportunities coming in. Parents also slowly change their minds. And also sleepless nights. Yes, this is so true. Don't expect to be sleeping well. Do not expect that, especially when you're starting your own business. What more to say, a startup, you will not have those lovely sleep. Nang seeda, nang si cukup tidur. You will be grinding, they call it, be burning the midnight oil. That's what you'll be doing. And if you think of a work-life balance, sorry, if you think of a work-life balance, jadi entrepreneur, jangan haraplah saya ada work-life balance ya. As an entrepreneur, there's no 8 to 5. It's a 24/7 work because everything is on your shoulders. It's your responsibility. No one for you to blame on. You can't point fingers to anyone except yourself. So that's the reality of becoming an entrepreneur, okay? So if you think that you can handle stress, if you think that you are able to eat alone. I was eating alone in KL. I'm in KL right now. I was eating alone dekat KLCC. So if you're able to eat alone, you're able to do things alone, you're able to have people who do not see what you see. And if you are able to have those sleepless nights, and also if you are able to work 24/7, which I'll tell you my story after this, then you have what it takes to become an entrepreneur, okay? And this is the most important thing. This is the most important thing about becoming an entrepreneur, okay? Rejection. You will get a lot of rejection from your clients, from customers, even from your family and friends, you will get a lot of rejection. So let me begin my story about the rejection. If you go to the internet, you can Google on all the successful entrepreneurs, the big names, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or even Jack Ma. Even Jack Ma, there's a video of Jack Ma saying he was rejected many times. He wanted to work in a KFC, even the KFC rejected him. You can watch his videos. So it's quite common to see business owners, entrepreneurs being rejected. So if you want to listen to those stories, yes, you can just Google it. A lot of interesting stories are out there, very inspirational about being rejected because you have an idea and people don't see the worth of your idea. So let me share you my story of rejection. I got rejected so many times. So this is the story, a bit story about myself. So how I started this journey. This entrepreneurial journey, it began in 2012. Okay, but let me put it as a surprise because I want to tell you the benefits of what do you call it, of being an entrepreneur first, so it can resonate. So rejection, I'll continue that with it on, right? So I'll talk about rejection. So when I started my firm, I had an idea. It was an enterprise first, 2014. Jadi it was an enterprise. I had some ideas on competency development. But at that time, I was a young consultant. I was only, how old was I? I was 28, I think. Yeah, I was 28. Yep. No, sorry, 28, 29, around that age. So I had ideas that I want to do this a framework I've developed, a business model I've developed. So I think this is something really good. So I presented to some clients. I was like, even to friends whose fathers are holding high positions in companies. I even came up to them and say, Uncle, kita dengar, kami present loh, kami ada something to, what do you think? I just want to hear your opinion. So all of them told me the same thing. They say, it sounds good, but do you have any success story? Has it been tested? I said, no, it's not been tested. So even within my own employer at that time, I had ideas. I wanted to share with the management team of the HR team, but I got rejected as well. They also feel like they don't see the worth, they don't see the value in it, and they don't see the value in me as well as an employee. They don't see it. They feel that I wasn't fit to be in the team, So I got rejected many times. So this kind of rejection, if you are not strong, it will pull you down. People wouldn't see your worth. They would see that you can't do it. And then when you get rejection from customers, they feel that we don't need your product, your service, we don't need it. So it will pull you down really, really hard. So that is one thing you must remember. You will get rejected along the way. Before success comes, you would get rejected. Okay. So now the question is, this is the question. If it's that bad, then why become one? It sounds like when I was telling you about the expectations and the reality, macam, gue sibuk aja, bagus, aku 8 to 5 aja. So what's the point of becoming an entrepreneur then? That's why the title of this talk is this for me. It's for you to ponder. Are you into this journey or not? Or are you not? Do you think you're fit to become an entrepreneur? Ataupun you're not? And let me tell you one thing. Being an entrepreneur is not an easy path. Definitely it's not. As I mentioned just now, it's not an easy path. And just like a saying, one of the saying goes, if entrepreneurship, if it's really easy, then everyone would have done it. So it's not easy, okay? But why become one then? Yalah, persoalannya, why become one? This is something I would like to share with you. Freedom. It's an amazing word. Freedom. And I'm not telling those who are 8 to 5 you don't have freedom. No, it's a disclaimer. I'm not saying that. But the thing about becoming an entrepreneur, let me just be honest with you, because I was from 8 to 5. I was an engineer in a huge government-linked company. So I was there. I did all the job. I was in a huge department. But this kind of freedom, it's something that you can't get by not becoming an entrepreneur. You can only get it by becoming an entrepreneur. So what is this freedom? What freedom is this? As simple as this one. It's actually interesting. The reason why I put this, because when I prepared my slides for this talk, I was thinking how to get real. How do I make this talk to be as personal as possible and as real as possible? Because I don't want it to be just another session where you just listen to people talking about, becoming an entrepreneur is this and that and that. But I want it to become something more personal, something real to why I became an entrepreneur. See the first question, the first, apply for leave. I hated that. Okay, I'll be very straightforward. I hated applying for leave. So I'll start my journey, the story with the 2012 story. I was in Kundasang at that time with my best friend. We were in Kundasang. So I believe those from KK, definitely know Kundasang. And a lot of you, I believe, have been to KK in Kundasang. It's a beautiful place dengan gunungnya, So I was there at night. We drove from Kuching to KK. So we said Kuching, Miri, 12 hours, Miri, KK. So we did like a road trip. And then, so me and him, we did a road trip. And then in KK, I was in Kundasang. A few times I was there, but this time I was there at night. Jadi dekat gunung, for those who have been KK in Kundasang, gunung, all the yellow lights on the mountain areas are so beautiful. So I told myself at that time, 2012, told myself at that time, I want to stay here for a month. So then I was thinking to myself, macam ni mau stay for a month, my leave only 20 days. It wouldn't be approved. Confirm my boss wouldn't approve my leave. And even if he does, I still need my leave for Raya lah, for this and that. I can't use up all my leave. So I was like, you know what? I'll just stay here. I don't want to work. I'll just stay here because this place is so beautiful. Then I realized, you can't. You need money. You can't just stay then without money. You need money. So how? And bear in mind, before 2012, just to share with you why I took my MBA, being an engineer, because before 2012, my goal was, being a young engineer, my goal was, I want to become the youngest CEO of this company. I want to go up the corporate ladder. I want to be the youngest this, the youngest that. So I realized that by taking an MBA, it can help you to jump up the corporate ladder. That's the reason why I took my MBA in Unimas part-time. This was back in 2011, around that time, yes, 2011. So then I was like, okay, I want to stay here for a month, but I can't take leave, and also I cannot just work. So how? Then I realized the only way to achieve that is by doing nothing, but then the money comes in every month. In other words, only by doing your own business can you achieve that. So at that point in time, it was during Gawai 2012. I took a leave for 1 week at the time. That was the U-turn in my life, where I realized that what I truly wanted in my life was freedom. Freedom whereby I can just go wherever I want to go. I don't have to ask for permission. I don't have to ask for permission to apply for leave. And the second question, ask for permission. I had to ask permission. If I have an idea, can we do this? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? I will propose ideas. When I was working before, I'm a type of person, I call myself like an innovator. I have a lot of ideas. I always try to change things, to improve ways we do things. But bosses, some are really good. They understand it. They say, oh, it's really good. You do it. Some bosses say, no, we can't do it, So you get rejection at that time as well. And you have to ask for permission for every single thing. So at that time in 2012, I realized, you know what? I want freedom. I don't want to have to ask for permission. I want to go whenever I want to go. I want to do whatever I want to do. That's when I realized what I truly wanted in my life at that time was freedom. So that changed my life. So at that point in time, if a person asks me, how do you see yourself in 5 years in this company? I said, out of the company. That was my answer. I'll be out of this company. But I don't know how yet. So I started a clothing line. So at that point, I tried to find business ideas. So I started a clothing line. So Blank Script Consultants was Blank Script Clothing. You can still go Instagram, it's still there, So it was a clothing line back then. It was all right, but it went downhill. So it was kind of a failure at that time. And also my heart wasn't into that business. Then along the way, I discovered about consulting and training, which I'll share after this. So now, sorry, boss, the third one, sorry, boss. Why I say sorry, boss? It's actually like, sorry, boss, because it sucked. I'm not trying to sound bad or whatsoever. You don't have to apologize to anyone. You have no boss. You literally have no boss. Like I tell people, I report to God. That's my boss. God is my boss. So that's the freedom. I'm telling you, I'm being very real right now. That's the freedom. I have bosses, a lot of bosses from different backgrounds when I was in my previous employer. Right, so different bosses, some are really great, some are not so great, some you can resonate with, some you can't. But becoming an entrepreneur, you are your own boss. You do not have to apologize. You do not have to ask for permission. You do not have to apply for leave. You can just do whatever that you want. So freedom, that's the freedom that you can only get by becoming an entrepreneur. And Monday blues, I haven't had my Monday blues since the day I became a full-time consultant, because you love what you do. As Confucius said, find a job that you love and you don't have to work a single day in your entire life. So no more Monday blues for the entrepreneur, because you are embarking on a journey that you choose. Okay, so that's interesting. You chose this journey, and this journey, the pressure, as I mentioned, is stressful, it's lonely, sleepless nights, no 24/7, but you are doing what you love, and you have no boss for you to apply for leave, ask for permission. You can just do whatever you want. You have an idea, just do it. You have an amazing idea, people don't believe in you, it's okay, because you just do it if you really believe in it, But of course, you have to be humble, and you have to know that sometimes you may just be in love with the idea. Sometimes your idea memang masih bagus. So you must know that at times, as much as you believe in yourself, there are times that you must take a step back and evaluate. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe my idea wasn't that good. Maybe my product wasn't that good. Maybe the feedback was right. So that is, I'll share with you after this on the competencies needed for you, all right? So this one, back to this picture. So now I'm talking about the contrary. This is actually possible. But does this guy have this all? No, I don't have this all. Okay, I'm not saying that it's possible, meaning I achieve it. No, I am not a millionaire. No, I bukan kaya. No, I did not achieve this. No, but it is possible. It's just that it's not instantly. What you see on the internet, dalam Facebook, they say you can earn millions. No. It's not like that. You don't have that instantly. Okay, just to let you know, you can achieve this, but no way for you to be able to have this instantly. Okay, and yeah. And you have any questions, you can just put it on chat, right? So I'll be opening the chat. And thank you, Nick. Yes, to be our motivation and aim. Yes. So this is possible. See, let me share your story. Okay, let me share. I have a lot of stories. All right. So continue, because this is about sharing session. So continue about my story. So then how I started with a consulting firm. Remember, I was finding ideas to be a consultant, right? So I was finding ideas to be a consultant. Then at that time, one of the VPs at that time, so he always requested me to do things which are beyond my job scope. So this is an advice to those working later. You would be doing things beyond your job scope. And let me tell you this, a lot of employees, they will complain saying that this is not my job. This is not what I signed up for. Why am I doing other people's job? Why am I doing things? It's not my KPI. So like ACDC is very common. I believe in changing. You hear from the staff. It's not my KPI. Why am I doing it? Let me tell you this. Because I did the things which are not my KPIs, that actually made me a consultant. How? The first job, I was called by the VP. He said, I was calling by him, you know what, Feroz, we have a lot of trainings on technical competencies. I want something on the human side of things. Can you come up with the training content and do a training? I didn't know how. I said, okay, Ken, I'll do it. I always say yes. Okay, Ken. So you try for one department for coaching, then we can do it the whole of Sarawak. It's really good. So I did it. I come up with the content, training content, and then I presented. It was good. So we did for the whole Sarawak. Then I realized, you know what? I think I found my passion and strength in doing management training. Then I realized, okay, this actually is a good business. Okay, I think I should become a trainer. So it was a trainer first. A few months later, he called me again. He said, I want to recruit new staff. I want to recruit some new technicians. Can you come up with a manpower planning and a restructuring for me? It's all basically his side of work. I said, can you do it for me? Okay. So I did a huge research I did analysis based on number of customers. In other words, I applied my MBA a number of customers based on the location, on the geographical location, the distance. I made analysis and come up with a whole corporate restructuring and manpower planning for a recruitment of 1 engineer executive and then 6 clerks and 12 technicians. So it's huge manpower planning. So that is actually kind of like a consultant job. So I did all the analysis. Then I realized, hey, this is actually what I love more than training. This is something that I believe it's my passion and my strength, which is becoming a consultant, becoming a management consultant. I believe that this is where my strength and passion is. That's how the management consulting and training firm was born. And the third one, after a few months, he requested me to do office design, interior design. I know nothing about interior design, but what did I say? Yeah, sure, I'll do it. He said, I don't want to take a consultant, you design it. I said, okay, fine, I can, no problem. So I kid you not, I Googled how to design because I'm not a designer. So I Googled how to design. Oh, Google SketchUp, oh, free, download, okay. So I learned guna YouTube tutorial, part 1, part 2, part 3. I literally did that. Waktu malam, 8 to 5, Sarawak Energy. Malam, I did the design. I get nothing in return. It's nothing. I just do it because I want to do it. I want to learn. I want to experience. And all that experience made me realize I should be a consultant. That is actually where my passion and strength is. Then 2000, then I got promoted. And the promotion is an interesting story, but I wouldn't share it here. But basically that promotion, I was among the youngest to be promoted. Simply put, all because of the contributions that I made. But that's for later cerita lah, because that's still in a corporate development. So then when I was in Bintulu 2014, I realized, okay, I found that this passion of mine, so let me start my own consulting firm as an enterprise. So I started as an enterprise, 2014. And 4 years, remember all the failure, the 4 years, to be honest with you, that was when I worked 16 hours per day, literally 16 hours per day at night, building my own company, building my own idea. I have my own framework on competency development, and then weekends I also continue my work. So for 4 years, that's what I did for 4 years. Just work and work on my own company. I don't feel tired because it's your passion. You don't feel it. It's true, sleepless nights, but because it's something that you love, you don't have to work a single day, so you enjoy doing it. And when I was in Miri, it was 4 years. 1 year through 2 years, you can ask for those in Miri. You can go to Madli every night. I was there. You can ask, even we can ask the waiter. Pernah si jumpa, I believe you masih ingat the waiter dah kenal lah. Orang botak-botak tu selalu dengan laptopnya order Milo panas kosong, telur setengah masak 2 biji. The same thing I order every night dekat Siak. That's what I do. Just sit there and do my work for 4 years, 3 years in Miri. That's what I do without fail. Okay, so I'll continue the story after the next slide. So it's relevant to my stories as well. And also it is relevant to all of you being young, whereby I realized one thing, and also you can watch videos on this. You all are millennials. I'm also a millennial. I actually I'm also a millennial. But most of you, I believe, you are 96, 7, 8, 99, maybe some 2000. You are the Gen Z, the Gen Z, okay? You are beyond millennial. There's something interesting about all of you. There's something good, amazing about all of you, and there's something not so good about all of you, generally speaking, okay? So one thing I realized, not only what I realized, but you can watch videos on this. The thing about the Generation Z is you want everything instantly. Everything is about now. It's all now. So that's the thing I would like to talk about. Remember I said all the wealth, fame and all, you can't get it instantly. So this slide, I want to share with you, it's not about, I know you saw in videos, you saw in internet, or 25, 24-year-old dah jadi successful this, successful that. What am I doing with my life? I'm 25. I have this one person comparing herself with Justin Bieber, comparing herself with kahwin dengan Bella Hadid, Zayn Malik. Say, I'm same age as Zayn Malik and Justin Bieber. What am I doing with my life? I'm like, I pun saya dah duit ke Zayn Malik. And what I told them is, if you wanna compare yourself with that, can you compare yourself with Ryan? Who knows 7-year-old Ryan? Who can tell me how much is 7-year-old Ryan worth? Siapa tahu? Those who have kids, you know. I don't have a kid, but those who have kids, you know Ryan, 7-year-old Ryan. I think he's worth 24 million. Umur 7 tahun worth 24 million. So if you want to talk about comparing like that, we all kalah dengan Ryan. Ryan 7 tahun aja dah 24 million dah. Kita beratus ribu pun si. So that's why it's not, don't compare with those people. Different people have different journeys. You have to compare to yourself, your own self. Look in the mirror. Becoming a better version of yourself. Don't compare with others. Don't do that, you know. And remember, it's not about now. It doesn't mean you have to get it now. Some people got it now, yes, but doesn't mean you get it now and later on you'll be successful. There are people who got it now and then they are not successful later on, you know. And some people, they don't get it now, they get later on. These are some examples. Martha Stewart, bila start businessnya mid-30s. I started my firm also early 30s. Nearly 50 baru sign the huge contract. Buat jadi famous. Vera Wang, a fashion designer, age 39. Before 39, masih journalist. Before jadi clothing designer, you know, fashion designer. You all are still 21, 22. Okay, Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn. Everyone knows LinkedIn. Bila founded LinkedIn? 35 baru jumpa LinkedIn. 1990s, I worked for Apple. So think about this for a second. If you see on the internet, 24-year-old, 25-year-old, dah jadi startup this and that, you think that no, some people they get it instantly. Some people don't. Some people they don't at all, you know. So don't worry about the timing. Everyone has their own timing. Remember this, I found this quote. To me, it's very interesting. Remember this quote by heart, okay? God's timing is always right. You are always in a hurry. That is so true. When I was young, I was like, I want that company to be now. I want the consulting firm to be big now. Because I was doing the consulting firm. I want to be now. I got rejected. Then I realized one thing. So 2018, I got my first contract with the state government, 2018, to do training. And at that time, that was the lowest peak of my life, just to share with all of you. That was the lowest peak of my life. My late father passed away December 2017. And I was married back then. Then I got divorced. My ex-wife left me, you know, in 2018. So I was at my lowest. I was in Miri. I want to go back to Kuching to fix my marriage, to fix my marriage. Basically, that's my own reason. And then to get back closer to my family. But I was in Miri, so I had no choice. So I was like so brokenhearted, and I told myself, you know, I have to resign. I have to fix my marriage. I have to fix things, you know. So I wanted to resign. I got a contract, but it's not confirmed yet. I was like, never mind, I'll just take the risk. And then I got the news. I was about to resign, planning to resign. I got the news from my VP at the time. He said, okay, you'll be reporting to the CEO of SESCO 1st of May. To do some projects, some special projects. I was like, so I get to go back to Kuching. I wanted to go back to Kuching. I'm not resigning because I want to fix my marriage. Okay, I'll go back to Kuching. So let me just see what he wants, you know. If it's not good, then I'll just continue my resignation. I want to resign anyways. But let me see. So the moment when I reported duty, to my surprise, I cannot share too much detail because it's on Facebook Live, right? So to my surprise, that he requested me to do a project for the whole company, a competence assurance development project, which was exactly the idea that I had for 4 years, which I was trying to find my success story. 4 years I've been rejected. Clients hear me saying that it sounds good. Any success story sounds good. You dah test ke belum? And to my surprise, thank God, to my surprise, that at that time, what he wanted me to do was exactly what I've been wanting to do. So finally, I got my chance to get my success story. So I asked myself, if I stop now, if I resign now, forever, I wouldn't have the answer to that question. Has this been tested? I wouldn't have the answer at all. So I was like, okay, I should stay, complete this project, then I resign. Then I will have the success story. So I did that. So the whole HR team and the consultant, they were hired. But I was the one doing everything. So I did everything from A to Z. So once it's all completed and I submitted to them, and after completion, then I tendered my resignation. And the contract from the state government, I got it confirmed. So they gave me full session for training, So that was my biggest break. And the moment on my last day of resignation, so going back to the Kundasang story, remember I told you I don't want to apply I want to stay in Kundasang for a month. Remember, I cannot do it when I was still working. That's it. So on my last day, what I did was, you may think it's Kundasang, but I was like, you know what, it doesn't mean it has to be Kundasang, right? The whole point is being in a place for a month whereby I can't do it when I'm still an employee to apply for leave. Okay, so what I did was I stayed in UK for a month plus. So I went to UK and purposely stayed there for a month plus, because I just want to prove to myself that, you see, I can only do this when I am my own boss, when I have resigned. So I did that. I stayed in UK for a month plus, and then I got back. And at that time, I got another contract, and the value was triple. So basically, rezeki masuk after my downfall. So remember, when you become an entrepreneur, you would be in a pit. You would realize yourself you were in a pit. You are like so low, so down. But remember, after that, you would so high. Trust me, in the process, that after you are so low, you're going to fly high. Have faith in God. Have faith that you would fly high. So that was when I flew high. Not high like a millionaire, but I'm comparing to my own self, higher than when I was before. So then everything just went up after that. So got back from UK, I put like, okay, I don't want to go back first, I'll go to Bali. So I went to Bali for a week. I went to Bali. So in other words, I spent almost like 2 months, not working, because my contract starts on around February, for the new contract. So just went, and then March, I went to UK again for a month. I went to Ireland and all. So how am I able to do that? Because again, back to the question, I don't have to apply for leave. There's no boss. You report to God. God is your boss, right? As long as God allows you, then you can do it. So this is the reality. And then working, and then I'll be in Kuching for the contract when the contract is completed. And then I decided at the December 2019, I planned to stay in UK for 4 months. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stay for 4 months, But I had to change it to earlier, because I got another contract. So getting a contract, it's fine. You change your plans because you got a contract, it's good, because money comes in, so it's good. So it was a good thing I changed my plan. Instead of I balik March 2020, supposedly 29 March 2020 I pulang, but I pulang January 2020. Kena bagus, because if I pulang 29 March 2020, apa berlaku March 2020? The pandemic started. I would be stuck dekat siya. So it's a blessing in disguise that I pulang awal. Okay, so the thing is, when I got my break later on, what was my age? I got the big break 2018. So in case you're wondering, I'm born in 84. So at the age of 34. So look at this, Martha Stewart, mid-30s, first business catering. Vera Wang, only professionally 39. Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn 35. So I got my consulting firm as a Sdn Bhd. Remember, first for enterprise, 2018, I started as Sdn Bhd. You close the enterprise, you book up Sdn Bhd, you learn business, you will realize that Sdn Bhd is way better in terms of the taxes, in terms of the benefits, this business side of it. So what was my age? 34. So that's my point. It's not about 20 plus. No, 20 plus, you may be able to do it, but be patient. It takes time. Okay, this is another one that I will show to you about this infographic. Let me just open up this before it's loading. Okay, if you look at this infographic here, I hope you can see the screen, yeah? So this one, you can just go to this link. You can see some examples of successful people. English writer, the success started 39. This painter is earlier, 24. Sylvester Stallone as an actor, 30. Before that, small. J.K. Rowling, 28. And then, 28, is it? Success, yep. 28, 49. This one, 25. 37, 36, 35. Look at all these stories. 49, 41, 41, 45, 46, 60. Marathon runner. This one at the age lagi hebat. At the age of 90, he became a marathon runner. So the reason I showed you that is it doesn't mean it has to be early. You know, some people got it early, but most people got it at the age of 30 plus. So one tip before I go to the next slide on the challenges, let me share to you my career plan that I had, which thank God I am still following it. So the career plan that I have for myself, this applies to everyone, regardless of your faculty. You can use this. You can use this for your guideline. You know, I divided my career life into 3 phases. Phase 1, 2, and 3. Every phase has a 10-year time frame. 10 years for phase 1, 10 years for phase 2, 10 years for phase 3. What is phase 1? Phase 1 is where you work under a company, you become an employee, you learn all the skills, you learn all what is needed, gather as much experience as possible. When you're young, learn as much as possible. Remember this, never say no, never say never, Justin Bieber, Madonna. Say yes to opportunities, say yes to instructions, say yes. People ask you to do things beyond your work, say yes. Do not say no, just say yes. You have nothing to lose, even though you're not paid for it because of it. I know young Gen Z, you all be like, oh, you're not paid. I want that money. I'm not being paid and all. Trust me, it's not all about money. Get the experience, the money will come. Trust me, the money will come. I got my business idea. I didn't get money from all the 3 jobs that I did, which was beyond my KPIs, not my jobs. It was not my roles. I didn't get money from that, but I got the consulting firm from that. That's where I got the idea. If I didn't say yes at that time, I wouldn't be here. Okay, so say yes. And the phases, okay, back to the phases. So that's the 10 years. And the second phase is second 10 years is where you start your own business. So I started my own business at the 11th year. So thank God I am following my plan. So 10 years I was in Sarawak Energy, including the 11th year. But on the 11th year, that's a transition period. I moved into phase 2, where I resigned from Sarawak Energy and became a full-time consultant. And then, so this journey will be 10 years. So now it's 2018. Now it is 3 years, starting from December. So it's 3 years. So I've started this journey for 3 years, coming to 4 years. So I have like around 6 years for me to ensure that I would go to my phase 3. So what is phase 3? Phase 3 is when your business has grown large enough where you become an investor, where you will invest in other businesses. Then you will open up new companies, new businesses, even not related to your business. You would buka whatever lah yang mau buka, kedai dobi, kedai makan, doesn't matter, whatever. Because your business has grown, that is your foundation. And from there, you invest and invest and invest. And the money will just work for you, okay? Because you became an investor. But remember, 10 years, 20 years. So what age would I be when I achieve that phase 3? 40 plus. So it makes sense. It makes sense to be 40 plus. You have to be realistic, okay? Yes, some people 20 plus, but trust me, 99% of those yang berjaya 20 plus, you have a safety net. That's all I can say. You have a safety net. There's something, you have a backup. That's all. That's the reality. Okay. Most of it, yeah, you have a safety net. All right. So don't be discouraged. Some people, they are privileged. They have the safety net. They have the resources. You know, they can achieve it young. But most of us, like myself, no, I have no safety net. I have no resources. I had to do everything by myself. I experienced the stress, loneliness, everything. So I can't do it 30 plus. My friend wanted me to resign since I was 20 plus. I said, I can't, because who's going to pay the bills? I can't just resign from the company. I have to make sure that the consulting firm is stable enough to pay for my salary so that I can resign from the company. So I can't just resign at the age of 25. I can't do that. Okay. So that's the reality. So it takes time. Okay. Remember, it takes time. So what are the challenges as an entrepreneur? Okay, I want to talk about challenges. Bootstrapping. This is a very common term if you are a startup or just an entrepreneur, you know, which is similar. So this is a situation when you start a company, you start with a very little capital and usually your own money, and you have to do a lot of cost-cutting measurements. It's very critical. So remember, when you first started your business, don't expect you are, what do you call it, making it rain. Don't expect that. You would be using your own money. You'll be using your own money, and you'll be like, nasi cukup duit lah, okay? So I got 10 minutes left. Don't worry, it's gonna be end by 10 minutes. So you gotta have multi-skilled. You gotta be multi-skilled because you have to learn everything by yourself. All right. And last but not least, growing competition and obsolescence. Remember, whatever idea that you have, your product or services that you have, you will always have competitions. Memang akan ada, and the biggest challenge in the 21st century is to stay relevant. Jadi you may be obsolete. So last sekali, these are the skills that you need. Get a screenshot of this, take a picture of it, learn. Remember, you need hard and soft skills. You as an entrepreneur, you must know basic finance. I know for some, especially I was an engineer, right? So to be honest with you, accounting until today is difficult. Until today, I can't get the account balance. Even though I learned accounting, it was terrible. But what you need to know is basic finance, income statement, budgeting. You know that. You don't have to go too detailed because you can hire an accountant to do that later on. Digital marketing is very important. Yes, you can hire them later on, but you yourself have to do it. Remember, bootstrapping, limited resources. So pretty much you have to do it all by yourself. Basic office design tools, learn by yourself. Now ada Canva, guna Canva, you know. Project management, that is very important because when you start your own business, everything that you do is a project. A huge company, a huge corporation, it becomes a department. Like SCDC is a department. One department is doing a huge thing, so it becomes a department. But when you're starting your own business, you don't have departments. Everything that you do is a form of project. Even a big company in a department, they also have projects within the department. So you have to know project management, learn project management. And soft skills, belajar problem solving, communication, business development skills are very important. As an entrepreneur, you must have the eye for business. Designers have the eye for design. Entrepreneurs, you must have the eye for business. You must know where to find opportunities, where and when. The right time to strike. It's all about timing, when you should get it. All right. Innovative thinking and ability to find balance between, the last one is very important. You must know how to balance cost minimization, efficiency, and quality. These three you must balance. Sometimes you want to reduce cost so much, quality will reduce. You jeopardize quality. You want it to be high quality, but it's too expensive. So you need to strike a balance between these three. Last but not least, your work is going to fill a large part of your life. All right. So don't settle with things that you're not satisfied with. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. I found my epiphany in 2012, and I found my passion along the way in 2013 and 14. And you will find it as well. So thank you very much. That is from me, and it's open for Q&A session. If you have any questions you want to ask me, you can use the chat, or you can just unmute and and ask me questions. So these are my details. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I actually forgot it's a FB Live, so my phone number is there, but it's okay lah. So it's all right. You can just drop me a text. It's all right, and you can just drop me an email. So those are my company, and I've also started a tech startup, My Pants. That one we haven't had the domain yet because it's going to be launched in January 2022. So at that time, then we will have all the domains. So the developer, a Unimas graduate, is still working on it. Hopefully she can finish it by January. Okay, we have one question. Two questions. Investment. Can we invest in other companies such as Genting, Berhad, and Gubernur? Can we buy shares from those companies? Haziq, is Haziq your student? Haziq, I like it. You are very, very, what do you call it? Like very pandang ke hadapan, right? So if this is talking about buying stocks, buying shares, you know, it's more on stock investment, you know. So that one, if you have money, yes, you can. But depending on playing stocks, you can ask your lecturers lah. High risk, high return is a very common term. High risk, high return. So stocks is very safe. So it's actually low risk. If you want high risk, you beli forex lah. Forex kah, Bitcoin kah. You kaya terus, you miskin terus lah. Right? But it's very risky. So yes, you can do that. But the one that I'm talking about being entrepreneur is not about buying shares like that. No, it's you create your own. You build your own company. This one, you're just holding shares. That's all. If setakat you beli RM1,000 aja, jangan harap dia millionaire lah. You mau earn 1 million, you must buy shares worth of 1 million. Then share naik 10 cent, then you earn 1 million and 100,000. Okay? So bukannya you put shares, oh I put RM1,000 of shares. Shares naik 100%. I jadi jutawan, dah you beli 1,000, 100%, you untung 1,000, ya aja. So don't worry about shares. This one you can do it on the phase 3. You can do it. Don't worry about it. You have money, you can. But let me tell you this: if I have 50,000 ringgit, I wouldn't buy shares. People say buy shares. I say no, I'm still young. I wouldn't buy shares. I would open up my own company. With 50,000, open up your own company. You can earn way more than that. Shares is if you have a lot of money that you don't know what to do with. Unless Haziq, if you have $1 million. That you don't know what to do, then you can. But if you must say like me, bukan millionaire, I would say that don't use that money that you have to start your own business. It's
okay, thank you, Mr. Feroz.
Okay, all right. And then the second question is, let me see the second question.
Read it to you, Mr. Feroz.
Okay, can you read it because it's hard to read? Okay, can you read it?
Yeah, okay, sure. The question is, Mr. Feroz, what is your advice to us when parents or older generation would prefer us to have a stable income as professionals rather than having a risky job as an entrepreneur?
Okay, it's a legendary question, you know. Even my late father was like, he's a small-time business. He was a small-time businessman. He is against. He wouldn't want me to become an entrepreneur because in his mind was how he did it, the hard work that he had to face. Because it's not an easy job, correct? But the times have changed, you know. So if you want to convince a parent, so my advice to you, if parents are against this, is again communication. Let's try to convince them that, you know, entrepreneurial journey is different now. Tell them that you are not doing the same like olden days. You have a plan, a different kind of plan, a more solid plan. And to me, if they say no, I'm not saying you have to go against your parents, no, but if you believe in something, pursue it, you know, but be respectful, listen to their advice, listen to their ideas, and try to convince them. If really they wanted for you to do an 8 to 5 job, and if you're really in a position where you can't say no to your parents are like, no, I don't care, you know, then just do 8 to 5, but still work on your dreams, work on your business, if you're in that position. But I believe parents nowadays are more open-minded. If you explain to them, tell them that it's not like how it was back then. Nowadays, show to them how much you can earn. I believe they would be okay with it. Okay, so communication is key. Explain to them. That's my advice. Don't be rude to them. Be respectful to them, you know, but show them with results lah, you know, show them, see, I'm earning this much. Now, do you believe me? You know, and just to conclude on this question, my lecturer before back then shared me a story when I was in university. He said his brother, the father wanted him to become a doctor. So he went and became a doctor, graduated. So he passed the cert to the father and said, here you go. You wanted me to become a doctor. Here you go. I give you the cert and I become a journalist, because his passion was to become a journalist. So last, just beat the father. Nah, tok sijil nanti kita mau gila menjadi doktor nah. Ambillah sijil lah, then jadi journalist. So we don't want that to happen, you know. All right. So try to talk to your parents. Okay. Some more questions. The next one.
The next question is, what is your opinion on financial intelligence?
Oh, if you look at the hard skills, basic finance, oh my God, that is really important. That is what is lacking in a lot of entrepreneurs. Financial intelligence, financial management, you need that. That is very important. If you have that, then maybe you can drop me an email. Who knows? I will employ you to work with me. We need that. It's very important. That is really good. It's something that everyone must learn. I would urge everyone to learn about finance, gain that intelligence, gain those insights. All right. So I hope that answers the question. It's really good. Learn that. If you don't know, learn. You have to. As an entrepreneur, that is the most important thing. Your money management. Okay. The next one.
We have another question. Mr. Feroz, what is your opinion on, is it better to go alone in business or should we look for partners?
I love this question. Okay, there are different opinions to this, all right? I'll tell the pros and cons. If you have a partner, the good thing about a partner is you can minimize your cost. So usually in a startup, okay, common in a startup, there are always two founders, one founder, one co-founder. Usually one of them will be the business person, another one will be the tech person. And sometimes three. One person is the business person, the Steve Jobs. One person is the Wozniak, the tech person. Another person is the finance person, right? The CFO. So the good thing about having partners is, number one, you can minimize your costs, whereby because you all are founders, you all are partners, you don't have to pay salary. So you can all work together without having any salary. So you can minimize your costs and you can just get the job done. That's the one benefit. Second benefit, 3 heads is better than one. You have people to work together with you, to discuss, to grow. You would not be burnt out, because you have people to do things with you. So that's a good thing. But I took the road less taken, as what Robert Frost said. I took the road less taken, and that has made all the difference. Like the point by Robert Frost. So mine is, I did not want any partner. I was a single founder and the only director, because it was driven by my purpose. Remember, I don't want to ask for permission. I want to be in full control. So being an own founder, you are in full control. No one for you to worry, no one for you to say anything. It's you alone. So that's the benefit of being a sole founder. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to discuss. You feel it's good, just go and do it. But it's not easy because you're the only one. You will feel tired. You can't do everything by yourself. So you have to spend a lot of time doing one thing, because you have to do digital marketing. You have to do finance. I did everything from admin works, everything I did because I was alone. So you have to think about that. Single founder, full freedom, no arguments. Banyak gila anangga founder, kelahi lah sasno ya, banyak gila. So full control, but everything is on your shoulder. And if it's beyond your capability, you have to hire. So example, I have to pay full stack developer, have to pay for her salary because she's an employee. If your tech person, the developer, is your co-founder, you don't have to pay salary. So look how much you save, So think about that. Usually with co-founders, cost minimized, very much minimized, and you have people to discuss with. But you would argue, you would have different opinions. One will question, I'm doing more, I'm doing less. These arguments, different views, different directions, and end up you break up. I won't say you won't, you will, but it may happen. Founder, single founder, everything is in your control. You have full power. You can do whatever you want, but everything's on your shoulder. Okay, hope that answers the question. The next one.
The next question, Mr. Feroz, what do you think about entrepreneurs that are multitasking? He is a doctor or a teacher, but at the same time, he is also an entrepreneur. Do you think it is normal or abnormal, and is it risky?
It is normal because I was one. I was an engineer who is also having their own consulting firm on the sideline as an enterprise, who started his own clothing line first and it was a failure, and being a consultant, I'm starting my own tech startup. So yes, it's normal. It is risky, but that's how you should do when you have no capital. If you are the capital, it's okay. If you have someone to fund, you have someone to pump in money. I know a guy, a 23 True story, let me tell you, sometimes I'm very blunt sometimes, this a young chap, a young kid, I tell this true story, open up a cafe in Kuching. I wouldn't say which cafe, a cafe in Kuching. So he told me that I was talking to him, I know him personally, so talking, he's like 24-year-old, 25. He said, I studied engineering before and I worked for a year. I didn't find my passion in it, So then I started this cafe. So I was like, so how much how much is the cost? The capital, 300,000. So I was like, so how did you get 300,000? Oh, my father gave it to me. They said, oh yeah, my father gave it to me, the 300,000 for me to start the business. I don't want to take loans, because if I take loans, then I have to pay for interest. So I said, then I tell him, you know what, banks will even give you a loan. The loan procedures is 3 times your salary, or that's number one. So if your salary is 3,000, the business loan, they will give you maybe 3 times, maybe 10, 11,000. Number one. And number two, business loan, banks will not give you loans because of an idea. No. If you want to take up loans from the bank, you need to be running your business. You need to have your cafe ready for at least 2 accounting period. Then you can apply for loan facilities. My company credit card, after 2 years of auditing account, then I can get a credit card facility. Meaning because credit card facilities is a form of loan. So that's what I tell them. So they say, oh yeah, really, you can't. I say, you can't. So that's the thing. That point of telling you this story is that unless you have a father or a mother or someone who can give you 300,000, then yes, don't become a doctor. Don't just go and do it. If you don't have that, like me, I did not have that. No one to give me money, right? So I had to work as an engineer and doing my business on the sideline. It's my side hustle. I have to do that. So the answer is, it is risky, but you do it. If that's your situation, just do it. I did that, and alhamdulillah, it worked well. But it's not easy. But what to do? I don't have 300,000 given by my wealthy parents, right? Okay. So I hope that answered the question. Yeah. Okay. The next one.
The next question is from our Keusahawanan member. Good morning, Mr. Feroz. You have talked about rejection, but the rejection has many levels, whether it is hard or an easy one. My question is, what way for us to face such challenges, especially to avoid feelings of despair or giving up?
Okay, the answer to this, it will be subject to your way of handling stress, your way of handling depression, So I'm not an expert in this subject matter, and it all depends on your faith. So let me share with you how I handled it. So my way of handling all this pressure, all this stress, is by getting closer to God. So that's how I realized things. Remember, I was at my lowest period. I went through my divorce, everything I went through without the help of anyone. I remember people were telling me, selalu nang kau jalan sorang-sorang until now. Selalu nang kau duduk sorang-sorang. People don't understand. I was going through my lowest part. So I was alone. So nobody was with me. So it's only God. So what I realized is patience. That's number one. Be patient no matter how much tough it is. And to such an extent, when I was going through the business, the personal downfall, and my business was struggling and all before I got my contract, to such an extent, I even memorized a lot of verses from the Quran. Verily, God is those who are patient. Verily, God loves those who are patient, So I memorized this. It's all about patience. So my advice is you have to be patient. That's number one. Okay. Number two, you have to persevere. Remember the pit. When you are at that pit, trust me, it's a process to bring you higher. Trust me. For every hardship comes ease. Truly, every hardship comes ease. When God takes something away from you, He's going to replace it with something better. Just to share with you, I did an investment back then. My lifetime savings, 50,000 ringgit gone because of a scam. Business supply ikan, so gone 50,000. So imagine that. 50,000 ringgit gone, lifetime savings gone, kena bula. So think about that. So look at how I felt. But then everything comes in back later on. You got to be patient and just persevere. So for me, that's how I handle stress, handle depression and all that. That's how I handle it. But different people have different ways. And just to be clear, if you are experiencing really bad depression and all, get a professional to help. You know, don't worry, it's not a taboo. I know it was a taboo, people don't talk about mental health. Go and seek professional help. Mine, I thank God I didn't reach that level. I'm still able to handle it by myself. So if you, whoever are in that, so get professional help. But to answer your question, it's being patient and hoping for the best and preparing for the worst, and always have like a backup plan. Like, what if this doesn't work? I'm going to do this. What if this doesn't work? I'm going to do this. So always have all these backup plans, always do contingency planning. Okay, it's very important. All right, so I hope that answered the question. The next one.
The next question, Mr. Feroz, between single shareholder or ownership company and the company that have many shareholders, which one is better?
Oh, back to my no boss, nothing, no full authority. I would say single shareholder is the best because you have full authority. You don't have to report to anyone. But then again, the tech startup that I started in January, I'm going to say in January, just to share with you, it's a spin-off tech startup, which means at first I thought it's going to be a product of my consulting firm, but I decided to make it into a startup, into a Sendirian Berhad. Why do I separate it? Because there's a good thing about having other shareholders, having venture capitalists, because sometimes you need money to pump in. You don't have that money. So that's why for the startup, I'm making it into a new company so that I can sell the equity to venture capitalists and give them maybe 10%. So when they see the product, they say, hey, I can see potential in this startup. Let us invest. Say example, they have like Series A, Series B, seed, pre-seed, you know, Series A, Series B. Say I give an example. Say we give you 500,000. So I'll be like, okay, I would want that 500,000. Meaning to say, by allowing another shareholder to come in and hold your shares, like the venture capitalist, you get 500,000. But in return, you give them 10% shares, for example. So that's a good thing about having shareholders. So, and I don't deny that. That's why the startup, it would be another company, which I would allow people to buy shares from it, provided you give the right amount of money that we require. But at the same time, I know that I want full power. So that's why the consulting firm, forever, it will be mine. I will not open up the shares to anyone. Maybe if I die, it will die with me. You know, maybe I do that, you know, or I'll just pass it on to my nephew because I love him so much, you know. So I just pass everything to him. Okay, so that's the reality. So both are good depending on what you want. And I did both. I'm doing both. I did first one and I'm going to do the second one. That's why I will have this company open up for shareholders, because it is good to have shareholders. You get money pumping in, and you also get some advice from shareholders. Depending on the shareholder, like some shareholders, they are keen to know, they want to guide you, or something like that. Yunanga Shark Tank, Yunanga Dragon's Den, interesting, okay, about all the pitches and the pitching. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. The next one.
The next question is, good morning, Mr. Feroz. I am going to start a one-stop service business, but now I am lacking of customer resources. In your advice, should I hire a sales marketing since I will also be busy in my degree studies?
The first question is, can you afford to hire a sales marketing? That's the first question. If you can afford it, then okay, it's good, you can afford it. But if you can't afford it, then you have no choice but to do it. But even if you can afford it, I would suggest you do it yourself first. You have to dirty your hands first before you dirty other people's hands. You must know how to do it yourself. And advice from my friend's mother who runs a business, what do you call it, kedai makan. I said, I want to invest. I want to open up a new restaurant. He said this, if you want to open up a new restaurant, make sure you know how to cook. That's the first step. You know how to cook, you know everything, how it's all running, then you're able to do it. I was like, yeah, that's true. Because my consulting firm, I know the ins and outs, everything I did by myself. So I dirtied my hands first. So that's my advice to you. You have to, first is you must have the money. If you do not have the money, then forget about hiring, you know. So that's number one. But even if you have the money, you think about this. If you don't do that at the young age, when will you learn? You know, that person will be doing everything. You wouldn't learn. So I would suggest, even you have money, save it for something else. Save it to grow your company instead of hiring a person. Just work 16 hours per day. It's okay. I work 16 hours per day, weekends for 4 years. So do it. You know, I mean, don't be, as a young person, be energetic. It's when you're young, you learn as much as possible. You have the energy. When you reach 30 plus like me, then you just start more relaxed, So to me, it's better you do it yourself lah. That's my answer, even if you have the money. But if you really memang you cannot, study is too much, we sip anak ni pun dah pun sudah je dulu nak. We sip, but say assuming lah, I can be sarcastic sometimes, but assuming like you're very busy now, okay, fine. Then yes, you can do that. But my suggestion is you do it yourself. Okay, that's where you learn. All right. Okay, the next question. I have a lot of questions.
Next question is in Malay. Assalamualaikum Tuan. Memulakan perniagaan dengan berhutang ataupun kumpul modal sendiri, yang mana satu lebih baik?
Kumpul modal sendiri, that's bootstrapping, using your own personal finances. So kumpul modal sendiri, jangan berhutang. Jangan. Jadi isu lain kelak. Kalau orang dalam Facebook kelak, pandai minjam, pandai bayar. So jangan. Use your own money. That's why you have to work. That's why you have to work 8 to 5. That's why I work 8 to 5, because I don't have the 300,000 to start my own company. I don't have it. I have to work. I have to save money. Okay, so you have to take that road. That's the best. Jangan berhutang. Okay, so that's my quick answer. Jangan use own money. But if you have parents, okay lah. You hutang with parents, still okay lah. Hutang with parents can. But mine, even I cannot hutang my parents. My parents are also not wealthy. So, but if your parents are wealthy, then yes, you can hutang with the parents. They're still okay lah. Not too bad. Okay, the next question.
Next question is, what is the differences between shareholder, director, founder, CEO, and manager?
Okay, shareholder, director, founder, CEO, and manager. Manager, CEO are employees. It's an appointed job. You hire them. They are pekerja. The highest pekerja in a company is a CEO. Okay, a manager is lower. You can have many managers. Okay, so that's the CEO, manager, right? So what's the director, founder, and shareholder, right? So shareholders are those young holding the shares. They buy the shares. They do not run the business. If you buy a stock, you are a shareholder. So you are responsible to the amount of shares that you hold and the amount of paid capital that you pay, So that's your liability as a shareholder. So how do you make money? By dividend. You don't get salary, you get dividend, or your share prices night and then you sell it off. Or some person wants, can I buy your shares? I'm going to buy it. You bought it at 5,000. I'm going to buy it at 20,000. And then you sell it to them. That's what VCs do. They buy at the early stage of a company. When the company's valuation increase, jadi berjuta-juta, then the 10% that they hold, which they pay 50,000, is now worth 500,000. So they pun jual. So they earn 50, 500. So they earn 450,000. So that's shareholder. Director can be a shareholder, can also not be a shareholder. So my company, I'm the director and the shareholder. So why do you appoint directors? They are directing the company. So they get director fee, which is also a salary. But if it's a group, it becomes a board of directors. So board of directors works in the interest of the shareholders. CEO works in the interest of the board of directors. So that's how the business structure is. So usually directors, who do you appoint directors? Usually those who have the license, who have the expertise, who have the connections, who have the position, you put them as a director. This is how big companies do it. So I answered the question on shareholder, director. Founder is also a shareholder. Founder is just a new term that I founded this company. When you founded this company, then you become the shareholder. So I'm a founder of my consulting firm. And when it becomes a legit company, Sdn Bhd, then I'm the shareholder. So I'm a founder of the tech startup. But because belum jadi Sdn Bhd, I still call myself a founder. But the moment it's a Sdn Bhd, then I'm a shareholder of my tech startup. Okay, so founder is a general term. It's a lingo that you own the company. All right, so next question.
The next question is, knowing what you know now, is there anything you would have done differently from when you were first starting out?
I would say no. I have no regrets in life. Knowing that I know now, I realized that I needed to go through all those to be where I am today. Remember the idea that I had. I want to find a success story. To be honest with you, I realized that after 4 years, when I finally got the chance to implement my idea, I kid you not, at the final stage, I still changed a lot of things. I realized this is a true story. Dekat mau settle everything, I realized, salah aku pola tu hal. So I literally changed a lot at the end. Then it became what it is now. So I realized that God's timing is always right. I'm in a hurry because I needed that 4 times. At the 4 years, I needed that period to be rejected so that I can refine my idea, which means if I were to get this earlier, I wouldn't get it right. So I needed that 4 years. So that's why I wouldn't change anything, because all that I went through, I needed that. I needed my divorce to push me higher. I needed all the heartbreaks to bring me higher. So no, I wouldn't change anything because it is needed for me to be where I am today. You know, things happen for a reason, you know, or in Islamic way, there's a hikmah. You know? Okay, next question.
This will be the last questions from the
Okay.
participants.
All right.
Morning, Mr. Forrest. What is your recommendation platform to learn some of those hard skills? Do I have to take professional or formal classes such as masterclass? If I don't have the budget to enroll in those classes, are YouTube videos or any workshop on social media enough to master these skills?
Yes. You don't, now there's a lot of free courses out there. If you can't afford, okay, professional certification is really good, but if you can't afford it, I learn everything by myself. So more YouTube, semua articles, Udemy now you can get, I only sign up for Udemy yang discounted RM50. I don't pay for the RM500, you know. so you gotta be frugal sometimes, you know. So you don't worry. Nowadays you can learn anything for free. So you don't have to be professionally learned. No, you don't have to. If you have, it's good. But if you don't have it, don't let it stop you. So just use the free ones. I used all the free ones. All my learnings throughout my business are all the free ones. It's harder because information is scattered, but that's where you learn. So use the free ones. No need to pay if you don't have it. But if you have money, then go ahead. No problem. And last but not least, whoever tells you go for a course, they ask you to pay for a course, huge lump sum of money, and saying that you can become a millionaire, please don't trust them. Okay, that's all I can say. I don't mention names. Please don't trust those who say that you can become a millionaire by joining their course, because you are their product. Okay, you make them rich by joining their program. Okay, so don't. All right, I can mention names, but don't. Right, nothing is easy. Just do it the right way. Learn by yourself. You know, go for courses, that free courses. Learn. Okay, all right. Okay, and is it the last question? That's it. That's it.
Yes, that was the last question.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you so much. So I would so that's from me. So if you have any further questions, you can just WhatsApp me, you can just email me, just go into social media, just drop me a DM, just tell me that, oh, you're the participant of the program. I mean, oh, okay, so just let me know. All right, I'm here to help, to assist, and maybe I can learn as well from all of you, because the young people, you have great ideas, which I'm always amazed by the uniqueness of the ideas that you all have. Not to mention I'm old, I'm also still young. Okay. All right. So thank you very much. That is from me. So I'll pass the floor to our moderator, Priscilla. Thank you so much, Priscilla.
Lastly, Mr. Feroz, on behalf of everyone here, I would like to ask for your final advice on becoming an entrepreneur.
My final advice on becoming an entrepreneur. So what's my final advice? Well, my final advice would be, look at all that I mentioned just now, all the slides. I'll share the slides with all of you and ask yourself, is it really for you? Does it mean that 8 to 5 is bad? Trust me, I'm not saying 8 to 5 is bad. Some people, they like it. They like the stable life. They like the 8 to 5 life, you know, everything is planned. Some people are like that. So at the end of the day, it's what makes you happy, where your passion is. If your passion is to become an entrepreneur, go for it. If your passion is to have a stable 8 to 5, some people, they don't like it. They don't want to become an entrepreneur. They want an 8 to 5. I prefer you tell me what to do, and I do this. I'm happy. I can go back to my house, you know, to my home, and then weekends I can do things with my family. Some are happy like that. So if that makes you happy, go for it. So in other words, doesn't mean entrepreneurial is the best choice. No, it depends on who you are and what you want to become, what your passion is. So my last piece of advice would be, life is too short to not do what you love. So if your passion is to become an entrepreneur, go and do it. If your passion is not, you want to do an 8 to 5, go and do it. Everyone needs everyone. All jobs are important, no matter what it is. You can't survive with, I need people 8 to 5 to run my company. So I can't survive with no 8 to 5. So everyone is equally important. So it's a choice that you make. So follow your passion. That's my advice. But bring your brains with you, okay? It's very important. Follow your passion, but bring your brains with you. Jangan taksud gila dengan your idea, but then it doesn't work. Okay, remember that. Follow your heart, bring your brains with you. Follow your passion, bring your brains with you. Okay, so that's my final advice. So thank you very much. Any more questions, or do we have like a photo? I was told there's a photo session, right?
Yes, there is gonna be a photo session after this. So thank you, Mr. Feroz, for your amazing talk and for answering the questions and the advice. I'm sure most of us here can relate with your talk and have gained insight on entrepreneurship through you. Before we proceed, I would like to greet and welcome Inche Aubrey and Cek Shafika from SEDC. Thank you for joining us today along with Inche Nick. Dr. Jennifer is also here. She is our Timbalan Dekan Hal Ewa Pelajar dan Alumni. Welcome, Dr. Jennifer.
Hi. Sorry, my tablet audio dia out lah pagi tadi. Was trying to unmute but cannot. But finally can now. All right. So good to see you, Mr. Feroz. Where is he?
Good to see you too. Good to see you too. Sorry, good to see you too. Good to see you too.
Yeah, good to see you. So inspiring.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Inspiring. Good. All right.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Jane. Nasib baik tak kena cubit, okay? Because you're not coming, you're attending. Good. Thank you, Mr. Feroz. Great speech, great talk, great sharing. Even me, that 8 to 5 person, actually, inspired by your talk. Okay. Maybe in future again we can connect. Okay, we won't stop connecting with you, coming, because you are again FEB's alumni, right? So do come back to Unimas and also help out in terms of entrepreneurship.
Right. This should not be the last time, yeah, Mr. Feroz.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
FEB in FEB. Thank you, Feroz.
In fact, on 11 December, I'll be giving to be honest, a free training for one of your students for their master's projects. So you'll be free just because it's for the assignment. So I'll be like, it's okay because it's Zoom. It's a free session. Yeah. So don't worry. I'll always Unimas will always be close to my heart. Definitely.
Yeah.
So
I mean, anything free. Actually, we love it.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Certain extent we can. Yeah. Usually for Unimas, I have a soft spot for Unimas, and so sure.
Yeah,
we can always discuss on this. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, all alumni of Unimas, Nick and then Feroz, actually. I mean, also in our heart, okay, in Jane's heart, and also my heart too, always.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, please. Next.
Right, thank you everyone. Before we proceed and continue with our next tentative, I would like to ask all participants to open your camera for the photo session with Mr. Feroz. Don't be shy, everyone. Open your camera. We have at least 200 participants here.
Woo.
How many screenshots are you gonna do?
So okay, keep smiling, guys.
Keep smiling.
Yes, you have to keep smiling because we don't know on what page we are on. All right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Technical team, are you ready? Can you do a countdown?
Okay, I will continue the photo session. So everyone might be smiles about around 15 seconds. So go with first page. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Next page. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Penatlah
3,
senyum.
2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, last pages. Wait. 3. Wait. Okay. First page. First one. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
Ah,
Come
Only 10
already.
pages.
FPP.
Sorry.
How many pages are they? That's a lot.
About 10
10.
pages.
Wow. I mean, good job, guys.
Thank you
Good job.
everyone for opening your camera. And thank you once again, Mr. Feroz, for joining
You're
us
most
for,
welcome.
thank you. So without
You're
further
most
ado,
welcome. Thank you very much. You're most welcome.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Feroz. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Hafiz to officiate the launching of Sistem Keushawanan Syarikat Siswa Unimas SSU with a prayer. Mr. Hafiz, silakan.